both my parents went to school here, born and raised here. I was born and raised here.
It's a familiar story in rural America.
2 years ago, we had 2 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school. And due to budget cuts and reduced enrollment, next year, we're going to be down to 2 schools, a combined middle school, high school, and 1 elementary school.
About 64% of the people who held a job and lived in the county worked outside of the county.
So not only do you have massive job loss, contractor loss, your funds for your schools go away, your funds for your county go away.
Financially, it's been really hard here because they used to be, a lot of people would call this the richest school district in the state. It was one of the only school districts that didn't need a levy, and this is because there was so much timber money in the past. So the district had all of these resources.
The resources are directly connected to the amount of timber harvested. When you cut the harvest, you cut school funding and you cut county funding.
You have a declining enrollment and struggling community trying to keep a really strong school system going at the same time.
WKO Timber Company is the largest employer in the area. 120 people work here. There were once 7 mills operating in the county and numerous logging operations. Now, this is it.
Even with the timber receipts dwindled down to almost nothing, there is a federal government program, SRS, Secure Rural Schools Funds, and this district, when I started here, was getting somewhere around $1.2 million a year, which is significant.
But SRS funds are anything but secure. Dollar amounts dropped, they had to be reauthorized, so the district never knew if they'd be there.
And it's not expected to come back. So we just passed a resolution at the board meeting last night to lay off a large number of staff members because we have to make ends meet.
Families aren't choosing to move here. Enrollment is dropping.
Used to be nearly 900 students, and we're about 680 right now. And we're going to continue to trend down. Approximately $10,000 of apportionment from the state per student. So that's a $2 million loss over from 2018-19 to next year. And then you take SRS on top of it, and it's really tough.
Here's another rub for people in Skamania County. The timber that is harvested here, although limited, does bring in millions of dollars. But those dollars don't stay here. They go to the state and are appropriated to larger, richer school districts for new buildings and modernizations in urban Washington.
It gets millions of dollars over the years from this county, and we can't have any of it. So they're taking the money that is actually earned out of this county, sending it and dispersing it to higher population areas in our state. And that is wrong. I feel like not just forgotten, but taken advantage of.
Between 2012 and 2016, our number of county employees went from 250 to 130.
The environmental push on the protection of the northern spotted owl. And of course, in the 1990s, early 90s, things basically came to a grinding halt. I thought, okay, well, at least we have a safety net. There's a certain amount that can be cut every year, and the fact is, through the 90s, I don't think that cut was ever met.
Even in the Northwest Forest Plan, called for 100 million board feet a year, and we don't do half of that.
Skamania County, because of all the timber destroyed by the eruption of Mount St. Helens years ago, was allowed to use the Secure Rural School funds in the general fund, which was a savior for county government for a while.
The first year that it came in, I think the county received just over $10 million. And half of that went to the schools and the other half to the county.
And everywhere the people of Skamania County look is the answer, the forest that they can barely touch. So what is the answer? Better forest management, more stable funding? Yes, to all the above. In our next segment, we'll look at a creative idea being done just across the river in Hood River, Oregon.